Getting pulled over for a traffic violation might seem routine, but what happened in this courtroom was anything but ordinary. Sydney Steele, 6 months pregnant, faced charges for following too closely and making improper lane changes. What started as a simple traffic ticket quickly became a tense battle over credibility, evidence, and truth. Lieutenant Jonathan Carey insisted he saw the violations clearly from his side mirror while driving in the number 2 lane. He was confident his testimony would be enough to convict, but Steele's response was calculated, sharp, and precise. She explained that she had no choice but to make lane changes because the officer was tailgating her aggressively. She also highlighted a critical detail. The red light meant she wasn't actively driving when accused of tailgating. Suddenly, the officer's account wasn't as clear-cut as it seemed. As the cross-examination unfolded, doubts emerged. Could someone really judge the exact distance between cars from another lane using only a side mirror? Could a ticket issued in this way hold up under scrutiny? Steele's calm, factual questioning exposed the weakness in the officer's claims, turning what seemed like an open and shut case into a courtroom drama. The judge listened carefully, weighing both sides, and ultimately found Steele not guilty on both charges. There was reasonable doubt, and the evidence simply didn't tip in favor of the officer. This verdict wasn't just about a traffic ticket. It was a reminder that preparation, courage, and asking the right questions can change the outcome entirely. Many viewers even suspect the ticket was quota-driven, a waste of time. But for Sydney Steele, standing her ground made all the difference. In the end, this courtroom showdown is proof that knowing your rights and challenging authority with facts can completely flip the script, even against someone in uniform.
Change on case 2024 TK 06652. Lieutenant Carey, raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true? All right, you can put your hand down, sir. All right, Ms. Steele, you understand that you have the right to ask questions of any witnesses brought by the state. The state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to give any testimony or evidence against yourself. You have a Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination, and the state needs to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt. All right, do you understand?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Tipton, you may introduce your witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Lieutenant Carey, please state your name for the Zoom call.
Lieutenant Jonathan Carey.
All right. And Lieutenant Carey, how are you currently employed?
Currently the lieutenant for the Clayton County Sheriff's Office Black Hawk Traffic Unit.
And how long have you been with the Clayton County Sheriff's Office?
The Sheriff's Office, probably a little over 2 years.
And you have prior experience before that, correct?
Yes, I was with the Clayton County Police for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay. And during that time, both with the Sheriff's Office and the Police Department, have you been post-certified?
Yes.
Okay. And being post-certified, are you authorized to investigate crimes, issue citations, and make arrests based on your investigations?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then. So I want to bring your attention to March 20th of 2024. Were you working for the Clayton County Sheriff's Department at that time?
Yes.
And were you on duty that day?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Did you at any point in time have occasion to make contact or initiate a traffic stop with a white Chevrolet Trax that was driven by Miss Sydney Steele?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me about what drove you to or what caused you to initiate contact with Miss Steele?
Yes. So during my role during the day, I look for erratic lane changes, reckless drivers, speeders. So while traveling northbound on Fair Boulevard, passing over 48, I was monitoring traffic in my rearview mirror. I observed a white SUV changing several lanes, not giving the public enough notice that she was changing lanes, nor was the vehicle using a turn signal. I observed the vehicle getting closer to me as she was changing lanes. She was also following another vehicle too close. Once she changed from lanes 2 back to lane 1 several times, she passed me. I'm sorry, from lane 3 to lane 2, she passed me in lane 3. And that's when I conducted a traffic stop on that vehicle and spoke with the driver. While speaking with the driver, she advised that she was in a hurry to get to Atlanta because she had a hair appointment.
Okay. You say she didn't use any turn signals. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what was the basis of the following too close?
She was following another vehicle too close as she was changing lanes.
Based on your knowledge, your training, and your experience, as well as what you observed, was that a safe maneuver for her to make?
No, it was not.
Would a reasonably prudent driver um, was a reasonably prudent driver would a reasonably prudent driver have followed that closely?
No. And if that vehicle in front of her would have slammed on the brakes, she would have been at fault, and that definitely probably would have caused an accident.
Okay. And with the improper lane change, was there anything improper? Tell me about what was improper about that lane change besides just the signal.
So when you change lanes, you have to give the public enough notice that you're about to change lanes, which she failed to do
Okay.
several times, not just one time.
Okay. So about how many lane changes did you observe?
I believe I observed 3. So she went from the number 3 lane to the number 2 lane, then back to the number 3 lane.
Okay. It's occur in Clayton County?
Yes, it did.
Okay. I have no further questions at this time.
All right, Ms. Steele, did you have any questions of Lieutenant Carey?
Yes.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So you said that you were observing me in your rearview mirror when I
Correct.
did all of these okay. So if you're observing me in our rearview mirror, how are you able to see how close I'm driving behind another car? If you're looking in your rearview mirror, you would see the car that's in front of me. You wouldn't be able to see my car.
I can see your car and the car in front of you.
Got you. So how are you able to determine how close my tires were to the trunk of the car in front of me?
I can't determine how close your tires are, but I can determine how close your bumper is to their rear bumper
And how are you able to do that?
by looking at it.
And what did you see? How close was I? If you had to guesstimate,
You're less than a car length behind them.
less than a car length?
Correct.
And this was another car and this was not your car?
Correct.
Okay. I don't have any more questions for
Harry, was your view of the car immediately in front obstructed?
No.
Was your view of Miss Steele's vehicle obstructed?
No.
Which lane were you in, sir?
I was in the number 2 lane.
Okay. And which lane did you observe the vehicle in when it was following too close?
Number 3.
Okay. Would you
So-
say that?
Well, when she was falling too close, she was in the number 2 lane as well.
Okay.
She went from number 3 lane to the number 2 lane, followed the car too close, and then switched back to the number 3 lane.
Okay. Were there multiple cars that she followed too close to, or just the one?
Just the one.
Okay. Okay. And so you had an unobstructed view of her front bumper and the rear bumper of the car immediately in front of her, correct?
Correct. By using my side mirror at the time.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. No further questions.
All right,
I do have just one more question.
go ahead.
What was the kind of car that I was driving behind?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you remember the color?
No, I don't.
Okay. I don't have any more questions.
All right. Did the state have any additional witnesses to present?
No, Your Honor. State's going to rest this time.
All right, Ms. Steele, did you wish to present evidence and testimony?
Yes.
All right, you understand that you're not required to present any evidence or testimony?
Yes.
All right, you're waiving your right to remain silent in order to offer evidence and testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, raise your right hand for me. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true.
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Go ahead, tell me what you need me to know.
Okay, so the day this happened, I stopped at the gas station. At the time, I was 6 months pregnant. I stopped at the gas station, grabbed some water. I get out of the gas station, I turn right. As soon as I turn right, I turn into a light. I pulled behind the police officer. No other car was in front of me other than the police officer. When the light changed, it's like he wasn't moving. So I put my signal on to get in the lane to the right of me. I got in the lane to the right of me. He then got in the lane behind me. And I looked in my rearview mirror and I'm like, he is driving so close to me. Like, he was so close. I could not see his tires. This is why I asked these questions, because in driver's training, they teach you have to at least be able to see the car's tires behind you. So that's how I was able to determine that he was driving too close to me. It was not a car length behind me. So then I'm like, okay. So I put my signal on, get back in the left lane. He gets back in the left lane. So I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, I was so confused as to what's happening. I'm like, am I in his way? What's going on? So then I did get back into the right lane. And when I went to get into the right lane, that's when he turned his light on and pulled me over. And I was confused as to, one, why he chose to do that. Because I was, like I said, I was just confused. And he asked me, I asked him, why did you pull me over? And he said, are you in a hurry or something like that? And I was like, well, I'm trying to get to my hair appointment because I was going to get my hair done for my baby shower. And he's like, okay, and then asked for my information. And when he came back and told me, one, driving too close, I'm like, how was I driving too close when I pulled up behind you at a red light? So I literally was not driving. You weren't driving. The light was red. And then when the light changed colors, you didn't really take off. So I'm like, okay, let me get out of this man's way because I have somewhere I have to go. And clearly he does not. So that's when I got over. And also, I have a 2024 Chevy Trax. My car, you literally cannot switch lanes without putting your signal on because it will jerk you back into your lane. So for one, I don't change lanes, especially while I was 6 months pregnant, without giving anybody proper notice, because I wouldn't want to put myself or my son in danger. And then that's why I also asked, what was the car? Because, there literally was not another car in front of me other than him. And then when I got over, for him to see all of these different lane changes, he was right behind me. And I did switch lanes that many times because he was driving so close up on my bumper to where he was correct. If I would have put on my brakes, he would have hit me in the back of my car.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. Tipton?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else, Ms. Steele?
No, ma'am. No, Your Honor.
Okay. Argument?
State will submit on the facts, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Steele, I found you not guilty of the offenses before the court. Each of you are given testimony in this case. Each person has submitted sworn testimony without additional evidence. Neither testimony has greater weight than the other. Therefore, the court is not able to determine beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed an offense in this case and finds you not guilty on both offenses.
Thank you.
Traffic stops happen every day, but sometimes a simple ticket turns into a courtroom showdown that nobody forgets. Sydney Steele, 6 months pregnant, faced 2 serious traffic charges, following too closely and making improper lane changes. On paper, it seems simple. An officer says she did something wrong. The defendant says she didn't. But the truth? It was far more complicated, and the courtroom was about to reveal it. Lieutenant Jonathan Carey, the officer who pulled her over, claimed he witnessed the infractions from his side mirror while driving in the number 2 lane. He was confident, firm, and certain his testimony would be enough to secure a conviction. From his perspective, this was an open and shut case. But Sydney Steele had a very different story, and she was ready to tell it. When Carey began his testimony, he described following her car for several blocks, observing what he believed were tailgating and improper lane changes. He painted a picture of a driver ignoring traffic laws and putting others at risk. But Steele's defense was methodical, calm, and precise. She explained that she had to make lane changes because the officer was tailgating her, creating a situation where she had no choice but to adjust her position on the road. She also pointed out that at the moment the officer claimed she was tailgating, a red light meant she wasn't actively driving. The timing alone cast serious doubt on the accuracy of his accusations. As the cross-examination unfolded, every detail mattered. Could the officer really judge the distance between cars from a side lane? Was it possible for him to be so certain from a mirror alone? Steele's approach was calm but relentless, letting inconsistencies in the officer's story become clear. She didn't raise her voice or argue emotionally. Instead, she asked pointed questions, highlighted contradictions, and forced the testimony to stand up to scrutiny. Every answer he gave seemed to raise more questions than it answered. The courtroom atmosphere shifted. What had begun as a confident assertion by the officer now wavered under scrutiny. Viewers watching this would notice the subtle cracks in his narrative, the pauses, the hesitations, the inability to fully justify his observations. Meanwhile, Steele remained composed, presenting her version of events clearly, logically, and confidently. Her pregnancy added another layer to the story, showing her determination and focus despite personal discomfort. The judge carefully weighed both testimonies. On one side was the officer's account, confident but ultimately limited by perspective and assumptions. On the other side was Steele's testimony, supported by objective details like the timing of traffic lights and the circumstances that forced her lane changes. It became clear that the evidence didn't strongly favor either side. Reasonable doubt was growing, and the courtroom tension reflected it. After careful consideration, the judge delivered the verdict. Sidney Steele was found not guilty on both charges. The reasoning was clear. Reasonable doubt existed, and both testimonies held equal weight. The evidence presented by the officer wasn't enough to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. What might have seemed like a minor traffic ticket had transformed into a lesson on preparation, composure, and the power of questioning authority. This case highlights more than just a legal victory. It demonstrates the importance of understanding your rights and remaining calm under pressure. It shows that even when faced with someone in uniform, facts and clarity matter more than confidence or assumptions. Many viewers might wonder if this ticket was quota-driven, intended to meet a numerical goal rather than address a real threat. Regardless, Steele's preparation and methodical questioning ensured that justice prevailed, and that a potentially routine traffic stop became an unforgettable courtroom lesson. The story of Sidney Steele serves as a reminder that ordinary situations, like traffic stops, lane changes, or minor infractions, can have extraordinary outcomes when approached with calm reasoning and courage. Standing your ground, asking the right questions, and relying on facts can completely change the narrative, even when faced with authority. Her experience is proof that knowledge, preparation, and clarity of thought are often the most powerful tools in a courtroom, and sometimes in life itself. For anyone watching, this isn't just a story about traffic laws. It's a story about accountability, critical thinking, and the courage to challenge assumptions. It's a case that teaches a lesson for drivers, citizens, and anyone who believes that the system can be questioned responsibly and successfully. Sidney Steele walked into that courtroom facing charges and walked out with her record cleared, her dignity intact, and a powerful example of how facts, preparation, and confidence can completely turn the tide in your favor.